Your time starts now. Okay, good day everyone. My name is Deborah. These are my team members, Yusuf and Solo. Today we'll be talking about Silverman and Brian, S&P. S&P is the regional banking firm whose headquarters is located in the northeast of England. It offers services like investment, merchants, retail, and private banking services. So most of its revenues are generated from the retail banking services. Recently, executives in S&P have decided to offer Islamic banking services, and this comes with some implications and practical solutions.
Now, the general perception with introducing Islamic banking would be probably a reduction in their interest income. Now, the thing is, interest income constitutes a very large proportion of revenue earned by banks, and with Islamic banking, the doctrine or the tenet is actually no interest. So, what I think, what we thought of is, for a bank like S&P, what they should do is intensify their promotion, their advert for not interest income, doing stuff like sukuk. Now, the sukuk market actually is a growing market. Currently in 2013, it was valued at over 105 billion US dollar, and it grew about 8.6% the next year to about 114.7 billion dollar. And currently in 2020, it's projected to grow to about 250 billion US dollars.
So with the introduction of this new and exotic product, there's a possibility of them losing their traditionalist customers. However, we believe that a way to retain these customers could be by introducing these Islamic banking services as a division or as a complementary service to their existing service. That is, they shouldn't just branch out completely into the Islamic banking provision. Okay, we also believe that they could carry out a research among their customers in order to determine the popularity of their existing core services. This way, they can know which service is very popular among their customers and which needs to be retained in order to retain their existing their traditionalist customers. Also, an awareness campaign needs to be carried out in order to enable these traditionalist customers to be aware of the continued existence of these core services which they love. They also need to enlighten the traditionalist customers on the relevance of the Islamic banking services.
Now, the thing is, with the and the borderline 12%. Now, with the conventional banking system in which S&B currently is operating in, it would appear that, let's assume, the Muslim 18% are following the Islamic doctrine, which says they should not involve in interest-related banking. Now, if they should introduce such products, they get to like bank the previous 15% and add to 70% in which they were tending to before. So it brings to them like 88%. What's it called? 80% market, like serve and all the lots.
Okay, so another problem that could be associated with introducing Islamic banking services is that with introducing new initiatives, there are possibilities of them being unsuccessful. But there is also the possibility of their employees resisting this change, and also the need for consultants, which could prove to be very expensive. And so we believe that these initiatives could be carried out by priorly carrying out research among existing companies, such as the ABC International Company in London, which was initially a conventional bank and later branched into an Islamic banking service. Also, we already noted, according to the case study that was given to us, we noted that the senior executives are in line with this initiative. They are very keen on this initiative. And so instead of bringing in consultants, we think that the head of each senior executive team, as well as high-level employees, can be sent out to learn about the theoretical and practical underpinnings of these Islamic banking services. And then they could be brought in to teach the bulk of the employees. And this thing could bring in two things. One, there's this familiarity between the senior team and the employees, which will create this relationship. And the fact that the boss knows, the executive teams are knowledgeable about these services, it will propel the employees to want to learn so that they don't lag behind when the work starts. Also, incentives can be given to the employees, so that the ones who are very efficient can also propel the ones who tend to lag behind to do better in their work.
Okay. From the ongoing analysis and review of the strategies proposed by my team, we believe that the Islamic banking division is a gold mine waiting to be tapped into by S&P. So many local and international banks have already branched into the Sharia compliant finance industry, which has been growing rapidly for the last decade by 10 to 12% by offering Islamic banking services to people. So we believe that if S&P branch into the industry right now, they'll be moving into the gold mine to project growth rates for the company in the future. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good evening to you all. My name is John Ayadewa.
And I'm Idiogechi.
And we are from same accolades. Basically, we're here to speak, we're here to present a case for Silverman and Brea Bank, S&B Bank. It's a bank in northeastern England that offers investment banking, merchant banking, private banking, and retail banking services to localities to locals in that region. And recently, the majority of their revenue comes from their retail banking service. Recently, they have been facing this stiff competition from big banks that are operating in the area of recent. And in addition to that, there is this economic downturn that has plagued that aspect of England, and the majority of their major customers work in the shipbuilding industry, in the petrochemical refining industry, and the chemicals manufacturing industries. So as these factories close down because of the bad economic situation in that region, the employees of these factories are trying to relocate from northeastern England to other parts of England, and that has made the bank to lose its customers because it is a local bank, and once employees of these banks of this industry, which are their main customers, are relocating, that means that they're going to lose their customers as well. So management have decided that they want to carry out an online banking service solution that will be able to reach out to these employees or their customers, irrespective of where they relocate to. So our objective today is to engage management on the pros and cons of online banking and to recommend how they should approach this solution and basically conclude with it. So Houston will help us with that.
Thank you, John, for the introduction and talking about this. Online banking is an internet banking platform that allows customers to access banking transactions wherever they are on their phone. And this takes me to the point of online banking. Online banking will enable S&B to retain their existing customers and get new customers because both customers are always with their phone, so they'll be able to perform all their transactions on their phone. Also, customers would take less time to consummate transactions. They won't really have to go to the bank, queue for long, and wait for the cashier to consummate their transactions. And also, it will make it very much easy for them to track their transactions. Easy. You only need to log in into your dashboard, check your transaction history, and then instead of customers calling their account transfers to request for their transaction history details. Another benefit of online banking to the customers is that it will make them have a safe and secure transactions. Customers will be given a personalized email and username password, which will enable them to have secure transactions. Other person will only have access to their dashboard where they give the person their password and their login details, which I believe most customers will not really want to do. So I'll leave it to Ogechi to give us the cons of online banking.
Okay, concerning the cons of online banking, we know this company is trying to embed with online banking. So they're going to acquire the kind of asset, acquire the computer, acquire the online banking instrument, and it will be kind of increase in the cost of the company. And also they have to train their staff. So they're going to train the staff in line with this new change in there, so it's going to also increase the cost. And these customers are from the local area, so they have to the change, the adaptation of the customers to the use of online banking is going to be phone name, also it's kind of a con to them. And also fraud is like an everyday thing. So we know that they have to put some work. So the fraud is going to be a kind of disadvantage to them and like things like that. But threshold, they're not all online banking can be done. Not all financial services can be done through online banking. So this is kind of laid back to them. So I'm going to go to John to give us the way forward.
Thank you, Ubechi, for that. So we strongly feel that the benefits of acquiring online banking services largely outweighs its disadvantages, because that's like the trend in the world now. We're living in a tech-driven economy, and for the bank to effectively carry out this new solution and deploy that to the market, they need to first of all set objectives. What they want to achieve with their online banking solution that are deploying to the market. They need to know what they want to achieve. That will actually direct them on what exactly to do. Having done that, they need to carry out a cost-benefit analysis. How much will it cost? Just like OHR said in the cons, it's quite expensive to acquire technology needed to carry out or to provide this solution to the customers, right? But this is like a one-off cost, right? So you need to do the analysis of how much it will cost them, both in terms of technology, in terms of human resources, in terms of maintenance costs, so on and so forth. And I think talk about the benefits, that the impact of this solution on their bottom line. Mind you that their customers are going to be relocated from their base, but they still want to reach these customers, so it's going to have an impact on their bottom line. Then they need to further go on to publicize, like Ogechi said, not all of these customers are technologically savvy. They may not be able to use all of these products. So they need to spend a lot of money on publicity to ensure that they carry out a market survey to know what aspect of online banking that the customer needs before they roll out a product into the market. Then they need to develop a compliance framework. Given the fact that banking sector is a highly regulated sector, because they deal with other money, they need to ensure that their solution meets the regulatory requirements of the regulatory body in the area that they are operating in. Then, of course, hire a tech team that will ensure that they provide the best solution, implement the solution, and review the solution, ensure that they are meeting their objectives. Yeah,
okay, having heard the pros, the cons, and recommendations, we are certain that if S and D take note of our recommendation, they will be able to have a reduction in cost and also serve their customer remotely, irrespective of any location they are. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Oyinda Mola, and these are my team members.
Welcome.
I'm Fumbi.
And then we'll be talking very briefly on the implication of and solutions to the introduction of Islamic banking system by S&B. So S&B is a firm that has its headquarters in the northeast of England, and then they've been facing a stiff competition from international banks. And then this led them to introducing this Islamic banking service. And then we'll be talking very briefly on the implication of introducing this service, and then the solution, the practical solution to this. So please, Paul, can you tell the House the implications of this?
Okay, so first of all, basically, S&B is introducing the Islamic banking service to their customers, and first of all, they'll be bringing in more profit to their firm. What do I mean by this? Being that they'll be introducing a new style of mortgage of Islamic banking. They'll be buying houses from resellers, sellers that just want to sell the houses. They'll be buying it without interest, and they'll be selling at a particular profit. But there's a flip side to this, in that the company, the bank will experience a temporary form of illiquidity. And by assuming with the fact that S&B will be bringing up a scheme to allow them buy houses and sell at a particular profit, we believe this problem will be solved. And also, they'll be creating a mortgage plan. We are bringing a proposition that they will create a mortgage plan or a particular scheme that will allow them to serve as intermediary between buyers and sellers of houses. And we also see that they should bring in a form of, a form of capital appreciation in which they will hold these real estate houses, for a particular period of time just to make, profit out of it by selling at a particular period over the years.
Okay, yes. To add to what he has just said, my team and I we agreed that this particular introduction of the Islamic banking service is going to bring about an increase in their customer holdings. How do we mean? We understand that the northeastern region of the UK is basically categorized into 70% Christian, 12% non-identity, no religion, and then the remaining 15% goes to the Muslims. So we are assuming that with the introduction of the Islamic banking platform, the Muslims are going to enlist with the bank and then increasing their customer base. Though they are worried that upon introduction of the Islamic banking platform, the existing customers might be agitated. So I'm going to ask you this question. You all have banks with your respective banks. Would the introduction of a particular service make you close your bank account with them? I would probably say that would be a no, because my bank has introduced varieties of services, but that has not made me to close my account today, as long as it serves me better.
Okay, so can you tell us the practical steps?
Okay, thank you. From our analysis, we recognize the various practical ways. First is introduction of separate division to take on Islamic banking service. Why do we need separate division? Because there's already a cloud of skepticism in the bank's existing customers, saying that this will actually affect the old traditional ways of the banking system. But creating a separate division to take this with special trained staff members, this will actually help to, if not totally reduce, but to avoid the conflict of interest that this system will affect the old traditional ways of the banking system, which will also improve the bank's branding system.
Also, as regards the point you made earlier, we also believe that the bank itself should implement bonuses and commissions for the existing clients and for their workers. It says that when you bring other clients into the bank, there is a bonus for you. And also, we believe that they should sensitize their workers as well, so that on the effect of not implementing the service, because when they don't implement it, then it has an effect on the bank's income, and then also it will lead to retrenchment of the workers in the bank.
Okay, to add to that, yeah, we also believe that to tackle the problem of the expensive or the high cost of actually getting an expert to kind of implement this, we are proposing that the bank should actually train its own staff, and then after training their own staff, they will actually engage in retraining the staff and using these people to actually start this new division that's going to be put in place to allow for the Islamic banking platform.
So we conclusively decided that the bank should implement this service, since it would lead to a profit for them in the bank, and also it would maintain their position in the market as well. Thank you very much.
It's working. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I must say that Group B, Group I, and Group C, you guys have done really well. Please put your hands together for yourselves. You guys did really well. So I would start with I'll start with Group I. You were the first to present. You presented case study 3, that's implementation of Islamic banking. Am I right? Okay. First is, I am an advocate of speaking, and when anyone is talking, and I hear pause fillers like so, like, I get turned off already. Almost immediately, I'm onto something else, because those things that you say, it makes it glaring that you're not composed. if you're going to pass a point and you're going to pass it well, just like they say in public speaking, while you're saying point A, you're getting ready for point B. While point B is going on, you're getting ready for point C. So you're entering each point seamlessly. Not when you finish like you're trying to bring yourself back to normal to take up the next point. Because people you speak to don't have a very long attention span. As soon as they see a break from your own side, they switch off their cameras, they are off. You have to bring them back again, and they're like, oh, okay, so you're still there. So please, subsequently, pause fillers, we call them pause fillers in speaking, try to ensure that you don't use them. If you're going to try to pause, then don't say anything. Just pause, give some seconds of pause, and continue. When you pause, it helps the people you are talking to digest the point you've said before. So when I say, oh, that lady is very beautiful, and I pause, and I say the next thing, though she's married, that pause I've created will make the person I'm talking to digest that point, though she's very beautiful, before I go to the next one. As soon as I can say, it makes you feel like you're not sure of what you just said. I want me to believe whatever you say. So please put that. Then the next thing is, you guys are presenting and your employees of the company already, have you? Yes, your management review. This means that it is your company. But notice that you were all given points, putting the customer out there in mind. These are decisions that would affect whether they will pay you well or not, whether they would add bonuses to you or not, whether the company will fold or not. So the primary person of concern is not the customer outside, but it is your company. You're talking about online banking system. If I'm going to say this, and people coming will use this point, then it won't work. So I'm not going to say it. I'll say it after. So someone like I say, yes, I'll just say it as person. I'll say, no, will it work? It's not going to work. I'm not going to say it. But nobody has actually given points that would add something to the company. Because if the owner of the company is sitting down there, he's not bothered about how customers out there are using the service. That is not the shareholder's concern. Don't forget that every company is a shareholder's concern. They're not bothered about what happens to the man outside. What they're bothered is how much comes in. At the end of the year, how much of my shares will go up. So with everything you do, you must not forget that you are representing the company. You are not a labor union fighting for the people. They're two different things. And I did not see the interest. It was more like everybody had gone to hammer the paper, putting the points. And when I pause, you start. And when you hear T, you do your own. It was not like you're doing like robots. No. See, it is not what you say, but how you say it. In speaking, they say you can tell someone to go to hell and the person will look forward to the journey. It's because of how you said it. You can tell someone to go to paradise and you say, I'm not going, because of how you said it. So you have to be able to ensure that whatever you are saying, the person is interested from your demeanor, from your looks, from your interest. The person wants to do it. So I think those are what I have to say. Then, the management trainee is coming from a particular region to another region. Nobody gave examples of the fact that, okay, I'm telling you to do this. Nobody has said, oh, I have seen this being done here. It has given this percentage growth because this is being done. And if you do it, we'll give us this percentage growth. Nobody was being practical. You're giving me textbook answers. Yes, you must do this, and yes, they all know the textbook. But if you cannot tell me that because the dog went that way and they got a new wife, if our dog goes there, they get a new wife, that passes the point across immediately. Not that because the dog migrated there, we must migrate there. Why must we migrate there? So you must be practical. And when you're discussing in a management meeting, the people there don't have your time. They are no management trainees. They believe you don't know anything. They are supposed to be teaching you. Now they're telling you to talk. You must make it worth their time. What managers are waiting for is statistics and facts. Whatever theory you are saying, they know it. What they want to see is, will they shoot up my numbers? And how will they shoot up my numbers? If you don't say those two things, you have not spoken at all. At all. Thank you.
All right. So thank you very much. So well done, guys. I must commend especially the last group. What group is that? Group C, yes, especially them. I must commend them. But one thing or one common thing I found out with you groups was that your management trainees, like you have said, and you were introducing the company. I don't know who you are introducing the company to. Are you introducing it to the company itself? You are saying the company is in the northeast, it offers this. I mean, so your management trainees already. Some problems were, in the case study, some problems were already brought to light. So I was expecting solutions. So Group 3 said that they would create a new division of the bank to go into this Islamic bank. Was it Group 3? Yes. So I was because of the perception that traditional bankers will have of Islamic banking, I would have thought that you would say something maybe like a sister company or maybe something different and not a division to be able to cure that perception that traditionalists would have. And one of the groups also mentioned that 18% of the population were Muslims. It is not all Muslims that even want Islamic banking. Some Muslims will also want interest on their money. Do you understand? So it is not just all Muslims that want to take this Islamic banking. What else? Okay, another thing is culture. For the Islamic banking, another thing is culture. You would also, because if you look at firms in Nigeria, for example, that are offering these services, this Islamic banking services, you would know that the same culture is usually different from what the whole institution is doing. So, for example, you would want to know that on Friday, Islamic bankers or whatever they are, they would want to go to mosque. You want to know that the menu has to be certain way. So the culture is another thing that I expected you guys to also, because if you say a division, you might not just fit into the culture of the entire bank. That's true. And then what else? Okay. On the internet banking, that was case study. That was group what? What was it? Group B. Group B. You guys also did very well. You guys spoke on the pros and cons the pros and the cons very well. You did very. I don't want to mention some things like you just said because some other groups might want to pick you from there. But you guys did very well. One thing especially that you spoke about was the cost of rolling out online services as against building new branches all over the place. A very typical example is Guaranty Trust Bank. So if you compare the number of branches that Guaranty Trust Bank has to other tier 1 banks in Nigeria, it is very ridiculous. However, they are making profits in 200s of billions. Now, if you say it is, and what is making them make those more profit is because of online, because they move most. So as a Guaranty Bank customer, you don't need to go to the bank to do any transaction. And another thing you mentioned, what that same group mentioned was that some products are not available online. So for example, you want to pay your school fees abroad in Nigeria. I'm just using the Nigerian example now. You want to pay your school fees. You can't do it online. You have to physically go to the bank because you need to sign your Form A, sign all of that, to do all of that. But I don't want to talk more because other groups are still going to say things. So we'll just leave it for the other groups and then we'll ramp it up from there. Group what? G. Okay. I think group G. I didn't know presented.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Victor, and here with me, we're the management team of Group J. We'll be talking about a proposed merger with Silverman with Silverman and Bryan and okay, thank you. We're looking at a proposed deal with S&B and BSP. S&B is located in the northeast of England, and we render services such as investment banking, retail banking, private banking, and merchant banking. Our unique selling point is in the retail banking services, where we are tagged as the traditional bank in the area, and also BSP, which was a spin out from our company. That means they were part of us before they left us, before they became independent. We are looking on merging with them to actually make us a stronger force in the region, where we are losing our grip because of the competitions involved. So we're talking about the pros and cons involved in this deal, and from our analysis, we'll be giving strong recommendations on what to do next. Thank you. So I'll be handing over to Mr. Adiola to talk about the pros involved in this deal.
Thank you very much, Victor. So speaking about the opportunities involved in having this deal, so we look at the fact that there's actually going to be a very strong access into the northeastern part of London if we engage in this merger. So this merger is going to be giving us a very high access into this area, looking at the fact that the penetration rate in this region is reducing due to the stiff competition inherent in this particular area. Then that's the first opportunity. So secondly, we also see that since both organizations have very similar culture, they have very similar values, so automatically it will not be very difficult for both of them to be able to harmonize and work effectively in order to function fine at the end of the day. Then thirdly, we see that a merger between these two will lead to a reduction in competition in this area, which is one of the major factors that is actually driving this merger. And the major underlying assumption we have here is that the management team in this company is actually doing very fine enough to withstand any pressure, as we are considering the fact that there is a current bearish economic downturn now due to the bearish market right now. So we see that this management team will still be able to withstand any challenge at all that comes from the merger at the end of the day. So we will not only be looking into the opportunities inherent in this deal, we are also going to be considering the risk factors involved. So I'll be handing over to Joshua.
Thank you very much, Diola. So we're talking about the risk involved with this merger between these two companies, between S&P and BSP. One of the important areas we have to look at and consider is the poor management. The poor management in BSP. It is so obvious that the management practices in BSP has been on the downside. It's really terrible. So we also have to consider that if we are going to have to join forces to work into a better company. The second area we're going to look at is the bearish market condition. The market generally right now in the economy is going down, is on downturn. So we're having a bearish market, and this has really affected most companies in the economy. But as we have it now, BSP is not really doing good in managing the excesses and the effect of the bearish market condition. So it's really telling on them. But we believe we'll be able to do something about that. Also, we also have toxic debt being incurred by BSP. We also have to consider that aspect. If we are going to have to merge with BSP, we have to consider the amount of time we are going to invest in trying to relieve ourselves of that debt. We are going to look at how it's going to affect our business and our revenue. We also have to look at the amount of resources we'll put in it. And the fourth area we are going to look at, we are going to talk about finding a way to work on their image, because as it appears right now, BSP's market out there, their image out there to the public is on the downturn, and people are not. We have shareholders shorting their stocks in the economy. So we'll be looking at the recommendations involved in this merger. So I'll be handing over to Mr. Idris here to carry on from there.
Thank you, Joshua. So we want to look at the post-merger recommendations. Now, we did a little due diligence on BSP, and what we realized is that a key driver of value for BSP was their management team. Now, when their management team flopped, when they didn't do well, profits reduced, right? So definitely, it's because of their management team that profits reduced. So the first thing that we will do, and we think is the most important thing, is that we restructure the management. We understand what exactly affects the management, what makes them perform. So if the problem was that probably there was a reduction in compensations, for example, we offer them compensations. Management team, they deserve this to be able to perform, right? So we compensate them. If we realize that they are not really good, then we find another management team. We try to just restructure the management team because it's very important for us. Now also, the second thing that we looked in post-merger recommendation is the hedging of the market risk. We have to find a strategic unit that has this core potential, core capability to hedge market risk. The market risk is important. The market risk has a very important effect on performance of the company. There are companies that have markets, very high ability to be able to hedge market risk. For example, during the financial crisis of 2009, we had companies like Goldman Sachs, I think, compared to companies like Lehman Brothers that fell during that period. So if we have a very good market strategic risk unit, we'll be able to hedge it. And the third is the post-merger name. All right, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, we are Silverman and Bar management training. Problem on ground. We try reviewing the problem on ground using our SWOT analysis. We check for our greatest strengths, our weaknesses, the opportunities surrounding us, and the threat against us. So in our strength, we found out that our firm is very good locally, but in the other side, because we're actually local, because we penetrate locally, the market space has been dominated by the international banking firm because we're not in the market, and it has reduced our market share.
For Silverman Umbrella, we are Silverman Umbrella because of our focus in the retail banking sector in the region. It has opened us up to threats of big international banks. And as a result of this, we're considering a merger with Barclays Stone Partners to decide if it will be feasible to join them, because we've seen BSP as a subsidiary that left us before, and now they've taken a little bit of market share. So we see them as a cultural alignment that could work with us. Also, we see them as a way of taking some of the market share which has already been broken out of us. But as a group, we've come together to realize that BSP is not a good fit for us, so we won't be going ahead with the merger. Simply because, for one, their management is terrible, and at the same time, they would not want us to lay off their staffs. So them coming with us will be a very problematic situation for us, because we won't be able to cut costs immediately by laying off some staffs. Also, they have a very poor reputation in the sense that majority of their customers, which are middle-class people, have realized that there are some irregularities in their transactions, and BSP has come in for scrutiny in that part, and they have a very bad reputation in the market right now. Also, the current market conditions will not make it a feasible merger. That is, BSP will be coming in us, and we'll be using the bulk of our profit to restructure and make BSP a better player in the market. In light of this, we'll say we should not go ahead with the merger, and we'll be giving our recommendations as to what to do forward after not taking the merger.
Okay, since we decided as a team not to go ahead with the merger with BSP, the courses of action that we decided to take include, okay, first of all, we think that our firm should diversify because, first of all, we already offer a lot of services. We have the capacity to offer services in retail banking, investment banking, private banking, and merchant banking. But right now, the bulk of our revenue comes from retail banking. So we think that a course of action that will improve the bank's performance is to diversify or try to increase our customer base in the other services we render, just except from just only retail banking. And secondly, I think a course of action we can take is cross-selling, which is we should try to offer our already existing customers our other services, our already existing retail banking customers. We try to offer them our investment banking, private banking, and merchant banking services, and also this will also increase our market share because we get customers from we get customers for our other services. And another course, lastly, a course of action we can take is that we should increase our market penetration in other regions because we're a local bank. We have a reputation as a local bank, so I think that we should try to dump that reputation and try to become an international bank. We should offer services not just in Northeast region, but we should also try to compete the same way international banks struggling for our market share are competing, and so we should start market penetration in other regions except Northeast London, Northeast Europe, and those are the courses of action as a team we came up with concerning the issue at hand. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tamua. This is Cynthia Ope and Judy Maria. We are the graduate management trainees for Silverman and Berea, and our board has come up with an idea due to our bank losing customers due to economic situations and competition from big firms. Our board has assigned us to evaluate the prospects of us going into online banking. Online banking, which is another form of banking, is a method of banking where transactions are carried out over the internet electronically. So, as we all know, every situation has pros, cons, and recommendations. So my team will be taking it from here.
Kazela stated I am Okwe, and I've given us the pros of online banking to SMB. So the first pro I'm going to go through is customer retainment. With online banking, SMBs will be able to retain its existing customers and offer and attract new customers, because online banking offers the opportunity to create new accounts on the platform at a very easy and quick rate. Also, there is also an efficiency in the use of there's efficiency with the use of online banking. Then the online banking transactions can be easily monitored by the bank since it is automated. So the bank can monitor the transactions that are going on daily on the platform. So online banking also will reduce the operating costs of the company. So the company will spend less on cashiers and tellers, and it will also help the company to increase the interest on deposits. So with online banking, the bank can advertise these other products on the online banking platform, such as investment opportunities and loans. Then finally, it will be less costly for the investment bank. It will be less costly for SMB to open to start an online banking business, rather than opening a new branch for the bank. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Okwe. I'll be speaking on the cons, which are the disadvantages of online banking for S&P. First of all, we may lose out on the older generation. It's a known fact that older people, they are not as flexible and as open-minded as the younger generation. So they might actually find online banking a bit complex or not for them. Taking a look at when Wema Bank introduced Alert in Nigeria, it was mainly the students and the younger guys that keyed into that idea of digital banking. The older ones found it really absurd, the fact that you don't have to go to the banking hall, and also we might actually lose out on that aspect of the market. Secondly, in everything internet, we have to consider security measures. There are a lot of tech-savvy young guys out there and ladies that could hack into the bank server and commit financial crimes. So S&P also, as management trainings for S&P, we also have to factor in security issues. Thirdly, it will lead to loss of jobs because S&P won't really need as many individuals to work on the team as it would if it were to operate a traditional banking system. So it will lead to retrenchment of workers and so on. It might be a bit complex for individuals to access the mobile bank app at the initial stages. People might find it absurd that now we don't have to go to the banking hall and everything to carry out transactions. And also there is a limit on daily transactions when it has to do with online banking. For example, Barclays Bank, they have this limit on their transactions. For personal transactions, it has to be £50,000, and for business transactions, it has to be about £100,000 on a daily limit. So this could also act as a constraint to our online banking platform. And lastly, network issues can affect the efficiency in delivering of our banking services. Although in England we have a good network, but anything can happen with the weather and all, so it would also affect the way we deliver our services.
Good day, everyone. My name is Agolana. Based on the pros and cons earlier stated by my teammates, we believe that this platform is a good platform for SMB to actually grow its market share and improve its sales over time. As of 2017, 82% of the UK adults logged on online on a daily basis, and out of those 82%, 77% of them actually transacted online. So we believe that this percentage in the long run will actually help SMB to actually grow and be competitive in the long run. We believe that SMB should focus, recommend that SMB should actually focus on research and development to understand the market share, to understand our customer base, to know exactly what is needed for our customers and for the firm at large. We recommend that customer sensitization is key to enable them understand and make sure that they use the online platform in an easy and convenient way. We recommend that the online platform should be user-friendly for customers to use them properly and to be competent enough to actually work with it. We also recommend that stringent security measures should take place through the use of token or more stringent ways of passwords so that our customers will feel safe when using our platforms. We recommend aggressive advertisement is also required so that our customers will actually know exactly what our product stands for to reach a wider market. Aggressive advertisements could be in form of the social media, could be in form of jingles to make sure that everyone is aware of our products and services. These recommendations are based on several pros and cons that we believe that our customers and the firm at large will be able to use the online banking to not only boost our investments and our interests regionally, but globally. Thank you very much.
So guys, thank you very much once again. We've talked a lot about the online banking, but I want to talk a little bit about the merger, the SMB and BSP and SB or whatever. So things that I thought that the groups would take into consideration, I think it was just one of the two groups that took into consideration was the debt component of what the new company that is coming into SMB is going to bring. So I thought that you are going to say would have to quantify. Oh, you actually said it, that you are going to quantify the debt, how long you are going to pay the debt, because a very key component of any measure that you want to do, you have to make sure that you have very good synergy between the two companies that are merging. And of course, you have to do a lot of scenario analysis, which usually in investment banking or in whatever it is usually 3. So you have the worst case scenario, you have the best case scenario, and you have the base scenario. Worst case is where everything goes really bad. Base case is where everything is at par, and then best case is where the synergy or the coming together of both companies are very good. So none of the teams that talked about the measure talked about this scenario analysis of what the after effects of the measure could bring. A team talked about that, a team said they were not going to, they recommended that they didn't want to go ahead with the measure, which I think is a very good one, very good recommendation. I mean, it's always good to make your stand known, which I think is the only team that has made their recommendation and their stand against what every other person is going to do. But I mean, what I also expected them to say is that must the two companies merge? No. So a solution could be that there could be some form of technical partnership between, what's the name of the bank now? SB and the other bank. There could be some sort of technical or management agreement. Since the core problem really is management, you don't necessarily need to merge because it was a spin-off of the original bank. So you can just do some sort of management agreement where the management of BSP is managing the other company without necessarily merging it with this company. That's one thing I also thought. We said that one of the teams mentioned retail banking and also said should offer private banking, should enlarge it to private banking. I'm not sure you understand what private banking is and what retail banking is. Retail banking is you and I, everybody, the woman on the street and all of that. Private banking is usually to HNIs. People in Nigeria that have more than, in Nigeria is more than 300 million naira. That is what private. So if you are offering retail banking products to private bankers, I wonder how the woman on the streets can be offered, or the HNI can be offered the retail. I think it was her team or something that mentioned it. One of the teams mentioned it. And then finally, a team mentioned that the bank should go out of the region. In the case study, it was already stated that the bank is a regional bank. So if you want to go out of that region, it means that they need to get another license. So for example, Wema Bank used to be a regional bank. So if you went to the east, you wouldn't see Wema Bank before. Just very recently that Wema Bank became a national bank. So if you want SB, whatever it is, to be a national or international bank, you also have to tell us that they need to get a license. And then for them to get that license, they also need capital. Because you can't just go to your central bank and say you want license. You must have the capital adequacy for you to get that license. I think, and then finally, there was a team that made very good recommendations. I wrote here excellent recommendations. I think it is, what team is that? Sorry. So it's Group E. Excellent recommendations. I really like the recommendations. From the first to the beginning, the recommendations were top notch. They spoke on branding, they spoke on advertisement, they spoke on everything that a measure would need. I wrote excellent. No, was it a measure? No, it was online banking. Online banking. Excellent recommendation. It was just ticking all my boxes. The recommendations they were giving, so just ticking all my boxes. So I wrote excellent recommendation. Well done.
Okay. Let me just add something to what you said. I think I most likely will not give to the temptation of giving some particular points because I would like it to be a very fair playing ground. Some groups came in here, opened up the discussion, and left it open and left. They did not conclude. The leader of the group opens up the discussion. The leader of the group closes the discussion. Because until the leader has spoken, I'm not sure you people are done talking. But one of you finished, I will not say the group. The group will know themselves. Abi? Exactly. One of you stopped talking, I'm not going to point out. I was not waiting for the conclusion. And that group came in. In every speech, there's an opening, there's a body, and there's a conclusion. That is what makes you deliver a point. So please put that in mind. Then terminology. A group student are talking about age of the issue. Is it pregnancy? Imagine someone telling you to come and rent your house, and it tells you things like, if you rent a house, I will have very, very high agency cost. If you rent a house, it will make me meet my own target. If you rent a house, I can buy my car next week. If you rent a house, I'll get an award. You will feel like, are you high? Am I buying the house because of you or because of me? So you are selling something, but if you don't put it in perspective, you are talking to yourself. Like I said, you are not a labor union trying to advocate for customer rights at the management meeting. You are there to recommend to the management how to shoot up their figures, how to be number one, how to ensure that they live where they are to a higher ground. You do not come and advocate for customer rights. Say where they are. If a customer is if a customer is 10 million yards away from me and he's paying me 100 billion per month, I don't care where he's located. Yes, he's paying my money. So that you should look at. There is a particular thing that annoys everybody with online banking in Nigeria, and nobody has mentioned it. I will not say that yet. That thing annoys everybody with online banking. You do that, a transaction finish, and you get a message, and you're like, in my room. And nobody has mentioned it as with online banking. Someone was even talking about the fact that people will lose their jobs. Is this a management problem? That is a cost. That's a savings from the management place. And people are losing their jobs. We have few employees doing the work of 10 people to 200 people's work. I'm gaining. That is not that's not a negative. You are not NLC. You are not a politician that is helping people to do woman empowerment. So you have to know your stand and know who to talk to and know what stand you're talking about. And finally, give examples. I said it before. What will drive your point into any management person? See, if someone tells you that, if someone comes and tell you, if you walk from here to there, you will make it to life. And someone comes and says, if you walk from here to here, you will get 100 billion. All of you look up and say 100 billion. You go lower. It's not from there. You've had money. You are weak. Make it in life can be marry good wife. That does not have to do with money. Make it in life can be more handsome. Not to do with money. When you get money, you've had a spark. You've had a driver. Your brain is open already. Like I said, these people don't have time to listen to everything. Someone will overflow an issue. Someone said an issue like 4 times. Yeah, I'll do this. And I'll also do this. The same thing 4 times. Okay, you'll have said other points. And that same group, time up. And I was wondering what happened. Why would that be time up? If you cannot conclude in the first 6 minutes out of the 7 minutes, you have lost your time of time management. Your score of time management from me. Because it's not when they say time up, never that I will never conclude. Though. You have not managed your time. You should, if they are given 7 minutes for the you should come and use 5 minutes. The remaining 1 minute, 2 minutes should be an extra in case anything happens. In the presentation, when you give you 7 minutes for presentation, you use half of it, then wait the remaining half for other things that might come, like question and answer or recommendation. You're not supposed to use 7 minutes out of 7 minutes. That is failing time management. Get to event by 4 o'clock. You're not supposed to get there by 4. You're supposed to get there by 3:30 at least. That is what they call time management, not getting there by 4. If you call you for a meeting for 4, you get there by 4, you're already late. Because you need to be ready for what you're doing. I hope I don't give anybody any specific. I try not to do that. Consequence groups, please take note.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Amor Rihanna. I'm Toby.
And I'm Elijah.
We are Talent Snowbirds. Do we all know Sterling Bank, SunTrust Bank, and Jay's Bank? These are Nigerian banks that offer retail services, private services, and other services. They have incorporated Islamic banking into their service, and they are doing perfectly well. This is exactly the same thing Silverman and Bear is planning on doing. We will be stating the implication
of implementing this policy, and also stating the solutions to the service.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Yes, so Islamic banking, yes, the problem inherent, the potential implication of implementing these services are reduction in profit, excuse me, and potential for loss, potential to lose their traditional banking customers, and inefficiency in their service providing. Yeah. So I'll be talking about the implications of this retail banking that Silverman and Burr want to implement, while he will be stating he will be profiling practical issues to the success of implementing this particular service. The very first one is reduction in profit and potential for loss. Yes, we all understand that Silverman and Breyer, the major chunk of their profit comes from what traditional banking, and the moment they're incorporating Islamic banking into their services, the possibility of them getting revenue from that particular service is to the barest minimum. And again, they will be incurring costs. What do I mean by that? The cost they'll be incurring is in implementing this particular service, they will be considering training their employees. Exactly, and the facilities to make this particular service a success is not there right now yet. So I was also saying the Islamic service, because of the kind of principle the Muslims practice, that's the riba, the no interest. By the time this bank is giving the Muslims loans, by the time these loans mature, there is very possibility that the value they'll be getting due to inflation might have decreased by the time they'll be getting this thing. So it's going to be telling us it's going to be profiling a practical step to achieving a success based on this particular problem. Thank you.
In addressing this problem, we are recommending a solution that contains two steps. First, we are recommending that in giving out personal loans to the Islamic bankers, let's use that term, would not be getting interest. But in giving out loans for business purposes to the Islamic bankers, as much as they're not getting interest, we'll be providing an option whereby the bank will be owning a share of the company equity. So when the firm makes a profit and declares profit, you'll be getting it as dividend. The second leg is that we'll be improving our traditional services, the retail traditional services. Would be to make it attractive. We'll be reducing our interest rate on the loan, so it will ensure that more people are subscribing to the loan, and also considering money get the increase in capital from the Islamic banking, there will be enough money to give us as loans in the retail traditional services, and in the long run increase our revenue and cover our costs.
Thank you so much. Another potential implication in implementing this particular service is the potential to lose their traditional retail customers. And why do banks exist? They exist because of their customers, and whenever they have customers, there's every possibility that they will earn profit. Yeah, the moment they are introducing this Islamic banking, there is the skepticism from the side of the customers that they would not perform. The customers will be seeing us, the company, that won't perform well. So so the problem is, the moment our customers are already losing focus in us, and they will tag our brand as not being good. So it's going to be preparing a practical step to addressing this particular problem.
In addressing the problem, we are preparing a solution of awareness. In making the Islamic folks to subscribe to these services, we'll be discussing with the community Muslim leaders to talk to their members, to ensure to sensitize them on the importance of using this platform, these services, and show to increase their subscription from there. Also, we'll be creating symposium for the members of the community to show that as much as we're including Islamic banking services into our services, we are not deviating from the original retail banking services. That those services are still important, and also making use of media and television and other forms of advertising to ensure that there's general awareness on the importance of these services, and we are not deviating.
So last but not the least, another problem inherent in this particular service we're thinking of implementing is inefficiency on the side of the company. Yeah. Being the very first time they will be introducing these services, there is every possibility that they will not be up to par. They will not be efficient enough in implementing this service. And again, the technical know-how of the staff is very low, it's to the barest minimum. So it's going to be telling us what we plan to do on that.
in addressing this problem, we are looking at a training plan whereby the company will be sending the employees for training on the effective implementation of Islamic banking services. Also, to reduce costs and form of long-term investment, we are not employing consultants to handle these services. We are training the employees, which will form as a form of a long-term investment, whereby they will be able to run these services effectively. And also, this will also affect this will also improve our brand in the market.
In conclusion, we understand the importance of this service to the bank and the growth of banking in North East London. We are confident that our ideas will bring this service into fruition.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Are you a member?
Yeah.
I did not. I knew that you did not, because they spoke for longer and you just did. Just my observation. Just my observation. I think that you did not. Was there a group? Did they have afternoon before now?
Yeah, we brainstormed on the ideas together and we decided that I was going to do the introduction and conclusion.
Okay, it just seems to me like they're not among them while doing this whole. The person that speaks is when they have
No, that was what we agreed to right from the beginning. We agreed to.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, don't go too far. Talk about details. Let's carry it.
So good day, everyone. My name is Precious Olinka, and with me here is. Okay. We are graduate management trainees from S&B, and we'll be discussing the potential implications inherent in introducing a new financial service called Islamic banking service, and we'll also be providing practical solutions in ensuring that this new financial service is implemented successfully. So first off, what is Islamic banking? Islamic banking is a form of financial service in which interest is not paid on loans whatsoever, and is attributed basically to the Muslim communities. And I will be handing over to Adiola to enlighten us on the strategies which we'll be employing in analyzing the implications in introducing this service.
In order to successfully implement this Islamic banking service, we are using the SWOT analysis and strategic method to troubleshoot our company as a whole, and also the new strategy that we are going to be implementing. So we are of course aware that our bank is the leading retail bank in Northeast London, and we have the strongest customer base as we have over time secured the loyalty and trust of our customers. However, we have been threatened by increasing competitiveness by international banks which are competing with us for our customer segment. We are worried that these banks are going to take our customer segments from us. So in order to do this, we are thinking of introducing the Islamic banking
Islamic banking service in order to secure our customer base. However, we do not have experience in executing Islamic banking services, and you, the senior staff, have decided to outsource this service to consultants. My team has come up with ideas on how to put a strong hold on our customer base and increase our revenue, even with the increasing competitiveness in the industry.
So I will be providing practical solutions to the obstacles the S&P is presently facing. So the first obstacle in implementing the new investment banking products is the perceived change in company strategy from the traditional banking financial service to a more conventional one. So the proposed solution is that the Islamic banking service should be offered as a new product rather than a radical change to what the bank is presently offering. So an example of this, or what we are proposing, is generally we know banks have the savings account and the current account. So we propose the bank will provide their new investment banking service as a new form of banking account called a non-interest account rather than the Islamic banking. Also, we propose the company should ramp up its marketing strategies and customer servicing, because our major strength is our client-focused way of doing our business. So we need to provide more clarity into this new strategy by making our present and existing customers be aware that this is not a total revamp of who we are, but we are majorly expanding and creating new products. Secondly, the second obstacle the firm is facing is its inexperience in offering investment Islamic banking, and it's the obvious resistance to change by the present employees and by the present employees of the bank. So we are proposing three things. First of all, instead of the consulting service, offering a radical change, we propose a more subtle and gradual change. Instead of offering out the whole service to every client, we propose the company S&P starts initially by offering the service to the presently unbanked 18%, and after it has observed and has more experience in this product, can extend the service to other the Christian and the non-religious. So in the other part, our other proposed solution is that the firm should establish an internal management team to take charge of the execution rather than the consulting team. This will reduce charges and fees, and we also recommend that the firm's employees be part of this change, as this will reduce the present resistance to change.
Okay, and lastly, we don't want to stir up a situation where there will be religious or moral bias. So we will definitely be giving it a generic name, which will be applicable to all religious and all religious groups in the locality. We don't want to stir up a situation which was present back then in Zimbabwe in 2003, which stirred up a riot, and hence we'll giving the product a name such as S&B General Savings or S&B Zero Account to improve the cohesiveness of the account. And lastly, we would advise that with the reasons given.
Good evening. We are Group G. I'm Abdulbasit Shuaib. With me I have Agbanagba Samuel and Divine Favor. We are to work on making recommendations to persuade customers of a recently liquidated firm to transfer their customs to our business. How their customs to our platform. I will be introducing the way we plan to present it, and Divine Favor will go on with the body, and Samuel will complement it with the conclusion. Recently, there was a liquidation operation by the competitor, a major competitor in the region where we operate. So we are considering on persuading the competitor's clients to transfer their custom to our platform.
Hi, as earlier stated by my team member, we want to persuade those clients that are trying to transfer their funds to the international markets to come to SMB. So in order to do that, we are trying to acquire this firm that just liquidated. And if we acquire it, for example, like EcoBank acquired Ocean Bank when it liquidated, and it expanded their outreach and everything, and improved their efficiency. So we believe that if we acquire this firm, it will enable us to improve our efficiency and our profit from 60% to 70%. Thank you.
We've been able to consistently generate moderate profit growth over years. This has been backed up by our large customer base and the top-notch services we provide to them. This is to note that our fate won't be like our competitor, which recently got liquidated, and our clients having problems of switching to another customers. And we also have unique selling points of providing services exclusively to customers in this region. This has been able to increase our experience in providing services to customers in the business, and help us to provide top-notch services to clients of the recently liquidated firm.
So since we know that the competitors' clients are trying to move to the international firms, as Divine Favor said that acquiring the business will actually make their clients automatically become ours, and we having to lock the clients, we have them pay for a higher switching costs, so that the customers will have no choice but staying in the local market, local companies, so they will actually be based in our own an SMB. So this actually, in conclusion, this will actually make us, since we've retained our customer base, this will actually make us more wider and reach more people in our local base, and it will actually help us improve our services and increase our profit thereby.
Finally, we feel it will be of the best interest of the client to transfer their customs to our system because of the aforementioned reasons, such as the high switching costs and the experience we have in operating in this region for a large period of time, and the moderate profit generating feature of this company. This is backed up by the fact that we have a strong operating base and won't get liquidated like the previous company which their services are being rendered on. Thank you.
D. Okay. Good evening, everyone. We are the junior management team of S&B. Okay, good evening, everyone. We are the junior management team of S&B, and by the nickname Team ARIT. This evening, we'd like to give a short presentation on a problem identified, solutions preferred, and a practical way forward on how to go about the recent economic downturn in the region. We noticed that there is a recent economic downturn that is actually driven by the plummeting trend in the industry components such as shipbuilding, petrochemical refining, the chemical products, and the likes, which has actually made us projected, that's from our analysts, we projected that this will be causing a possible close of operations in the region, which is actually linked to having a ripple effect of unemployment, which will be causing massive exodus of employees from that particular region. And this will have an effect on our operations because the major driver of our operation is retail and private banking, which requires that we have people enough to operate with us. And so having a massive exodus from this region will actually mean that the major revenue driver will be going down. So we've actually come up with a range of solutions, but then we think that going internet, that's internet banking, will be the best solution for this. And Khadija here will be speaking more on internet banking and the pros of internet banking on our operations. Thank you.
Okay, so it is argued that it is natural for people to select the options that have positive features, among which are convenience and mobility. So online banking allays the fear of our bank's loss of revenue. By online banking, we are going to provide ATMs for people to make deposits and withdraw their savings. So we are also going to make provision for mobile banking application so as to make our customers stay on top of their bank balances. Also, cost effectiveness. Online banking lacks significant infrastructure and overhead costs. So this is going to help our bank pay higher interest rate on savings and charge lower rates on loans and mortgage. This would help attract customers and retain customers in the bank, and also help to increase the company's profit margin. So, over to you.
Thank you very much, Khadija. We understand that online banking are not without online banking services are not without drawbacks. Some of these drawbacks include identity theft and security breach. This would lead customers to lose their savings with us and also dent our reputation. I believe that because the bank has the capacity to install sophisticated encryption software to enable us protect our database. Another area of concern would be cash deposits and withdrawals, of which we could strategically position ATMs outside the region for both transactions to enable customers handle this. And I believe that initially is going to incur cost for us, but we will be better off for it in the long run, say over the course of the next 5 years, and as this would enable us wider outreach. Lastly, online banking services would also affect our direct interpersonal relationship with our customers. So I think that, however, we propose that we could create a feedback section on our online banking platform to enable customers to communicate directly with us, to enable us to handle them better. Back to you, Toby.
All right. Taking it from where she stopped and building on our recommendations so far, I think it's best for our organization to introduce the USSD code and as well as the internet banking app and the debit card, which will also help us to promote POS transaction even outside the region. So to do this, we think that going by massive adverts on internet banking and endorsement from celebrities such as Jay-Z, Beyonce, Davido, we make the people familiar with the online banking, because online banking is not something you can just introduce to the community and they accept at once. There are skepticism about online banking, talk about fraud and the likes, but then having endorsement from this set of persons will make you at rest that, okay, at least you have someone. We make our customers at rest that, okay, they have someone that is affiliated to this and we know that our money is safe with them. So going forward, executing this plan, we believe that the bank will be better positioned for the dynamics of the market into the future. Thank you.
Good evening, guys. Please, just a round of applause for all of you. Well done, well done. I don't have a lot to say. I've said most of the things I've said. I don't know, maybe Beatrice made a mistake, but it seems like it was just one group that did case study 2, which I think is an interesting case study. So I'll just speak about it a little bit. So some of the things that I expected, where are the people that did case study 2? Yes, some of the things that, and is attracting customer base of a bank that is failing, right? So some of the things I thought you would do as a group, or you talk on, is one, to speak to the competitors, to know what their customers wanted, right? That's one. 2 is to speak to the customers themselves and to enable you to know what they wanted. And then you kept talking about switching costs. It is investment banking, right? Was that the service they were offering? The bank that liquidated, it was investment banking they were. So I don't understand what you mean by switching costs. I mean, if a client leaves an investment bank today, if it's going to another investment bank, there's no switching costs, quote and unquote. The only costs probably there's no cost really, because if I'm working with Dangote today and Dangote decides not to work with me anymore, wants to go and work with another investment bank, there's no switching cost. But you guys kept repeating that switching cost. I don't understand what switching cost has to do with all of this. And then Group D, very nice one, very innovative. You guys talked about the USSD, which was the first group to talk about that. I think it was very innovative. And then lastly on this, you guys also brought practical examples of having brand ambassador. I really like that because it's online banking. It's the first time that the bank is going to introduce it. There's nobody here that does not know GTB 737 song. I mean, if you start playing it, a lot of people know it. There's also, so it was very practical for me. I really enjoyed that, and I must commend you guys. So I think that's all for me.
Okay. If you're not too tired, please give yourself a round of applause. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well, first thing I must say is, forgetting what I've said here, sitting on this table and facing the crowd is a big deal. I'm sure you agree with me. It's not easy to face a crowd. They said one of the most greatest fears in the world is what? The fear of public speaking. So people have said they would rather hang themselves than face a crowd to talk. And it's a big deal, which you've given a shot at, and you've done really well. So now I would go into each case and I would say things I expected to hear. Implementing online banking system. No group talked about the fact that the bank is going to enjoy increased revenue from online banking charges. All of you are always annoyed when a bank charges you for sending money to somebody as well as 50 naira or as well as what? As 20 naira. Nobody can imagine that times how many customers GT Bank has. Can imagine how much GT banks make on a daily, even on Saturday. Saturday and nobody's at work. You can imagine how much GT Bank makes every Saturday from star 737.
I can tell them they make about 20 to 30 billion every year.
Now, that would have been a strong killer of that group's presentation. Saying you're going to make this from this. Is enough for everybody to say, 20 billion. From where? The MD will sit down and match up in somewhere because he wants to listen to you, but nobody brought that. So you keep talking like you're an NLC member. Put yourself in the position of the company. Now that is, I gave a hint. I said, there's one thing that banks do to you when you transfer money that you don't like, and nobody got that hint. Thank you for not getting it. Everybody knows on that point. Now, persuade the competitor's previous investment bank company. That was a very easy case. It's like people are stranded in a particular car, and your car is empty. How? What does your car not have? AC. I have AC. Did they give you charging cord? No, I have charging cord. Did they give you leather seats? I have leather seats, even leather ceiling. That's what you're supposed to come and tell me here. But at the point, there were a lot of people around the bush, things that don't even meet up. So, knowledge is important. I don't think everybody here actually did a research. Most of us just got that particular case, read it, and thought that you could find the answer from the case. It happens sometimes, yes. But just like they say, I don't think most people did not think, only the person talking about brand ambassadors for the bank. That's the only example of taking outside the box that I saw today. Every other person was busy looking for the answer in the question.
How long did you guys have?
30 minutes. How long did you give them? Over an hour. So well, now I would.
Sorry. I mean, you have over 1 hour. So if it was a real life employee situation, you will not have up to that. It's typically like 40 minutes. So you don't have up to 1 hour if it was probably a Goldman Sachs assessment.
You would not have up to that. And you had people to draw a point. I'm sure they were allowed to use their phones.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of you actually Googled and looked for sex online. I don't think so. Because I'm sure if you put yourself, if you had thought that you're going to meet the Goldman Sachs people themselves, you would have gone to do themselves some other things. So please, then, potential implication of introducing Islamic Bank. Someone said something very funny. I said they will not give it a new name. They will give it a bland name. They want to give Islamic finance a new name. The finance already is named Islamic finance. They don't say they want to give it a name that people will not know. That does not make any sense to me. It is called Islamic God. It is called Islamic God. It is targeting Muslims who don't want to deal in interest. So if you don't give it a new name, how will the Muslims know that is the bank for them? That is the bank for them. They will not know. If GT Bank today is offering non-interest banking and it's a GT Bank, would you know? You will not know because you think GT Bank, no, that's the one. But when they say, okay, sometimes what you can do is they can even go as far as writing the name of the bank in Arabic. So people still know that, this is an Arabic letter, this is an Islamic concept. When you are targeting a group, you learn the group dynamics, you know what they want to hear and what they want to see. You cannot sell sunshades to a blind person. Nor can you sell earphones to a deaf person. So please note that. Audience analysis, audience engagement, know your market. Know your market. If you don't know your market, you are beating around the bush. The success and failure of the merger. I think the only one group said, I am not agreeing with the merger. It is a question. This thing was to say, are you agreeing or not? Why are you not agreeing? Or why are you agreeing? A lot of you just went in circles and expected me to use jazz to find the answer in your head. It's not possible. As soon as your audience or your people are talking to are finding it hard to actually get the answer from your head, that means that you're not saying anything again. You're just talking to yourselves. I just remembered, I was a group that came here. Very interesting group. They passed the mic to the next person. The next person was trying to say some very new words. And one of them was laughing. If that person has successfully ridiculed the whole group, it means that, not there. That's what it means. Because you yourself have ridiculed your group, then how do you expect the person listening to give you credibility? You don't have to give credibility. So the little things go a very long way. Like I said, I always speak from the aspect of presentation and speaking. One.
Are you sleeping?
Oh, my mom is a very boring person. Someone is sleeping.
Oh,
the person woke up by looking back.
Oh, you're meditating.
Yes, he was in yoga. So I will always say, now, there is this quote that says, what would always distinguish a man from the multitudes is his ability to speak. That will distinguish you from anybody that you will meet. It will stand you out wherever you go. Take your time to understand the principles of presentation and speaking. There is a principle for it. For everything you say, there's an opening, there's a body, and there's a closing. You don't talk and leave it open. For everything you say, there is a time frame. You are not supposed to talk using that time frame completely. No. And at some point, I must commend you guys. I stopped hearing R's, M's, and O's, and like, yes. People, and then it was hard. Someone was trying to show saliva, and like, I must not say this R. I saw it. I saw the effort on whose head he was showing. But yes, it makes you composed. And see, some people will say, There are some people who are gifted that they can sell sand to the Arabs. That's very difficult task. Selling sand to the Arab man who sees sand every day. It's not as if he knows sand more than the Arabs, but he has the energy, he has the interest. Not all of you, none of you were interested in the topic. All of us as assignment. Let me just do that fast so I can go to. I can go to. No, I could not see the interest in any of you. Most of us just came because they said I should do it. Let me come and do it. Interest is very important, and you need to know what you are talking about and who you are saying it to. If you know what you are talking about and you don't know who you are saying it to, you definitely sing to the deaf person, even if it's something very interesting. And if you know who you are talking to and not knowing what person wants to hear, you will definitely play the video for an now. Kind of things merge. So please do your research very well. Once again, to give a round of applause. You did really well. What's that question? Oh, okay.
I mean, so you guys were on a scale of 100. If both of you probably did like 80 or 80 or 85.
80, Pareto person.
Yeah. So you did maybe 40, and then she did 20, or even less, maybe 45, and then she did 10. She didn't seem like she was in the group.
She was like the MC of the group.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's what I thought. That's what I felt from your presentation.
But then because you didn't do our part really well.
I mean,
but if you did your part really well, it sounded like it worked.
You were part. I think there was a synergy. So I even thought you guys had to go home or probably meet, and then she didn't come for the group meetings. Have you watched dance choreographies where somebody is going like another person is going like, you know that another person did not come for rehearsal? So that's how it felt.
Another question? Yes. Okay, my name is Dr. Hakim Onosai. Thank you, patient. Okay. No more questions. Yeah. Thank you.